Hi guys, welcome back to Allotment Diggers. Don't mind Jack and Jill and the family behind me. I don't know if you can see them actually, but they've been driving me mad all morning. I should have never put the seed balls on the feeders until I'd done the video, but hey ho, they're there now, so I'm not going to just leave them. I'll try and blank them out as much as I can. Last episode I said I was going to finish off the middle greenhouse. We were going to clear all the rubbish off the table, the benches, and then was going to put all the chilies in there. Well, that's what we did a little bit earlier in the week, so I'm going to take you in there now and I'm going to show you how well the tomatoes are doing. You see all the chilies all lined up. There's only one disappointment, and that's the grapevine. I managed to get Jay's fluid on the roots earlier on in the year, and I knew nothing was going to come of the grapevine. I've killed it basically. But lucky for me, I've actually I took a cutting a couple of years ago, and I've got another grapevine, another black Hamburg in my front greenhouse. So I'm going to be taking the cutting off that shortly, and then putting it back into the greenhouse. So we will have another one in there. It'll probably take 2 years for it to ripen, to mature. But we waited 2 years for this one, and this one's doing wonderful. We'll have a look at that in a bit. But let me show you the greenhouse, how we got it all set. So let's go into this middle greenhouse and show you the tomatoes in the halos, and as you see, they're doing wonderfully. I pointed out when we actually put them in, I did water in the centre of the halos, but now a week or so later we water into the rings, and they're doing wonderfully. And that one there's almost at the top of it. I'll be taking the top off that shortly. Sorry, something just flew past me then, I didn't see what it was. But as you can see on this side of the greenhouse, we've got all the chilies all set out like little soldiers in these drip trays. And well, the plastic cups are on there to stop me taking my eye out. So we know, and it's just we'll put a tape round these and taping them up just to give them a bit of strength. We've got some cucumbers here. There's 2 Louise and 2 Telegraph here. But the sad news is the grapevine, as you can see, it's completely dead now. And we cut that piece what went along that side, and what it was, we was cleaning the windows here, and I knocked the Jay's fluid in the bucket over, and it went straight onto the main stem. And getting Jay's fluid on your grapevine, guys, is not recommended. But fortunately for me, I took a cutting off this about 2 years ago, and I put it into the front greenhouse, and that grapevine now is as big as this, and better than this actually. So we're taking another cutting very shortly, and a couple of cuttings, and putting them into this greenhouse. In this greenhouse at the moment, the temperature is 110.8, and everything's doing wonderfully. We've got a few sweet corn. We need to put these sweet corn out, and we've got a few cabbages there, and there's some celery there, and well, we've got to put these out as well, so watch this space with them. But this greenhouse, is all intents and purposes is sorted. We just take the suckers out of the tomatoes, we tie them up to the canes as they grow up them, and again, once we start to see fruits on these and these, that's then we start to feed them. As soon as you see the first lot of fruit, that's when I feed. And I'll show you the food. In fact, well, where's the food? Here. It's comfrey, and it's at that tap there. Count, open the tap into your watering can, count 1, 2, 3. Add a bit of water, I fill it up with water. Come back in here. I normally feed them probably twice a week with some food, and well, as you can see, I did tell a fib. I did use some comfrey tea to start them off on. I poured it in. And as you can see, look how well they're doing. There's nothing better than comfrey tea to get your tomatoes off to a great start. So there you go. So there's the middle greenhouse. All the chilies all set up like little soldiers. We've got a few cucumbers in there as well, Louise F1s, and we've got the Telegraph F1s in there. We've got four cucumbers, and they should do okay where they are. We've got all the chilies all lined out now, and the peppers. We'll have a look at them, a more in-depth look at them very soon. As you see, we've got the four different varieties of tomatoes there in them halos, and one or two of you made a point, said, well, you should always water the centre of the halos for the first week. Well, yes, that's right, and that's what I've been doing. I didn't mention that. I would have thought everybody would have cottoned on to that, but I am now watering the outer ring, and I put food into the outer ring. Once I start to see the fruit appear, then I'll start to feed them. Same with the chilies and with the cucumbers. As soon as you see the fruit, start feeding them a load of food. Not too much food, by the way, but you know. And this, with the temperatures so high, you know, they do need a lot of watering. So I tend to water first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Don't want to be doing it in you know, mid-daylight. And you certainly don't want to be getting any of the water on the leaves. You've heard of the lensing effect. You get droplets of rain or droplets of water on the leaves. It burns, the sun will actually burn holes or marks into your leaves, and it stops photosynthesis happening on that leaf eventually, and the plant will suffer. So I tend to water first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and water from below. So that's that greenhouse all sorted out. So that then I shifted my attention to the front greenhouse here. Now we needed to get the leeks out. We've got some leeks in one of these big polystyrene boxes. You get them from fishmongers, tropical fish shops. In fact, this one had some frozen broccoli in it, and we've got, there must be about 400 or 500 of these leeks in this pot. We spread the whole lot in, and well, I'm going to show you. Here's a little clip of the actual box with the leeks in, the Musselburgh leeks. These are the Musselburgh leeks, and as you can see, they look absolutely awesome. Now these are what you call pencil size. Okay, there's my finger next to it. I've got big chunky fingers, but yeah, these, we're going to be taking them out very soon, and we're going to be transplanting them into a bed which has got the garlic in. So watch this space with that. So as you can see, there's not an inch between them all, and they're all a pencil size. They're literally they're about some of them up to 18 inches in height, and well, obviously we're only going to use a small percentage of them, but before we use them, what we've got to do, we've got to lift the garlic out. So I'm going to show you me lifting the garlic out. We'll give it a good clean up, and I'll present it to you on this table once we've done it all, when it's all been washed. But I'm going to show you me lifting some of it now. So let's get down onto the back of the plot. We've got a lot of garlic to lift up,
as you showed me down here on the back of the plot, we're going to lift some of this garlic. In fact, we'll probably lift all the garlic today, and then we're going to turn this bed over, and what I'm going to do then is probably put some leeks into it. So I'm going to lift a few up. I'll show you me lifting a few up, then what we'll do, we'll clear it all away, and then we'll get stuck into the bed, I think. Time's a premium, so I'm going to crack on. Lift this one up, see what we've got, if we've got anything. Oh yeah, that's alright. Oh, that's anything to go off. Not bad garlic, we'll give them a good clean up after. Yep. Well, we've got a big bucket full of garlic there. I mean, it's not too bad. Come on, guys, what you give me your opinion? What you think? I mean, it could have been better. Probably left it another couple of weeks. It might have got a bit more, but at the end of the day, they're not too bad. Fair size for what they are, and we have got a big bucket full of them. You see there, that's all the weed, and there's a few garlic which are a bit mushy. I think there's about 4 of them, so out of about 300 there were only 4 of them which was got a bit of root rot on them. As for the rest of them, well, perfect. So we're going to turn this bed over in a minute, get the fork on it, give it a flatten it all down. Then we'll think about putting something else in there, probably leeks, but what I'm going to do before I turn it over, I'm going to put bloodfish and bone over the top of it, and a few other things. Just harvest the garlic, and while we're at it, we harvest some more of the strawberries. That's about the 4th or 5th punnet we've had. I could have had another 3 of them punnets out of that bed there, but like I say, we can only eat so many. We might even do some jam with some of them. With the smaller ones we normally do the jam, but yeah, we must have had a punnet going round the bloody bed. I'm absolutely full to the brim of strawberries. Garlic, well, that's going to sit in my greenhouse at home just to dry out a bit more, and then we'll tie it up, and the family will ascend onto it, and there'll be hardly any left by the end of I'd give it 2 months, that'll all be gone.
So there you go, we give it all a good cleaning, we prepped it up, we cut the tops so much off them, we kept the scapes, we chopped them up and put them into stir fries as well, so you don't, you want to keep the scapes, but yeah, we cleaned them up. They are now drying off. Some of them are drying off in my greenhouse at home. We strung a load of them this morning, my missus did. We liquidised a load of them into ice cubes, and then what she does, she puts them in freezer bags. Then all you do is get an ice cube, drop it into the wok, instant garlic. That's garlic puree, that. And if you freeze it, it lasts longer. She's put it in. Olive oil. She put it in olive oil. There's so many different things what you can do with garlic, and she's given a lot away as well. So that's the garlic all sorted out, and that brought me on to, we needed to dig the bed over. Now, as you see with the fork, it's nice and loose there. Well, it was nice and loose at the edges, but as soon as we got in the middle, it was like you needed a crowbar. I think Sean left a comment from the Art channel on one of my videos there. He said he had to use a crowbar on his soil. Well, pretty much I had to do the same with this one. However, I wasn't prepared to turn the bed over, break it all up, then put more bloodfish and bone on it, then turn it over again. So what I did, I put the bloodfish and bone on it first before I started to turn it over. I was using gloves. I held my breath while I was doing it. You do not want to breathe bloodfish and any sort of bone meal out like that. You do not want to breathe it in. It latches onto your lungs, and if you're like me, I've got severe chest problems, and the last thing you want to do is get that on your lungs as well. It causes all sorts of problems. I mean, the bone can give you cancer and everything, so be very careful when you're spreading it. I spread it on, I held my breath while I was doing it. I walked away, let it settle, then I turned it over then, and it was tough work, but I've got a couple of little clips of me doing it just to show you what it was like. So I've got a bloodfish and bone, and basically what I'm doing is getting upwind of it using gloves. Do not bare hands if you can help it, and try not to inhale any of the dust off this, because it is bone meal after all, with blood and fish in it. I say we're getting it everywhere. Add a lot of this into the bed because we've taken a lot out of it. So there we go. I'm going to dig all this lot in now. Dig it in. In fact, what I'm going to do now, to be quite honest with you, I'm going to have a cup of coffee and then I'm going to dig it in. But it's always wise to add your fertilisers before you turn the soil over. It makes the job a lot easier because you've got to do it again once you've dug it over. You put your fertilisers on and then you've got to dig it in again. Well, why do that? Put it on first, then dig it in. That's saves you half the job. So that's what we've done, and hopefully all them nutrients there will make them leeks go crazy. But I've got to dig it all in first. But before we do that, like I say, I'm off to have a cup of coffee. And remember, when you're dealing with anything like that, get gloves on. I've just been turning this over as well. Just hit it with the shovel, the fork I should say. Garlic seems to have done the job really. But like I say, I'm going to crack on. I don't suppose you want to see me do it all, so it's going to take me a few hours because, like I say, I'm hopeless at digging, and well, it just needs forking over. It just needs turning over with a fork. That's correct myself. And then when we're done, we'll come straight back and show you what we've been up to. Well, there you go, guys. It's we've just raked it. We've broken it all up, and I can tell you, it's like rock. That's solid. The fork, we obviously we've gone a blade deep. It's about 12 inches deep. We've gone down, but to get the fork itself into the beds, we've had to basically jump up and down on the fork just to get it to get in, go through the soil. Anyway, we've done all that. It's took a few hours, I tell you. It might only be a 6x6 or 6x7 that we've turned over, but with the trees being there as well, it's basically sucked the ground of all moisture. And the garlic which was in here as well, you got that sucking all the moisture, and it's just compacted down. And anyway, we've dug it over, hoed it, raked it, and now it's good to go to put the leeks in. We put bloodfish and bone in to start off with, and that's been dug right in. That's really well dug in. Later on in the year, I will be putting a load of horse manure into this bed. A couple of years ago, we put chicken manure in, and we really piled it in. But the end of this year, it'll be a lot of rotted down horse manure, which we've got in the compost bins, which have been there for nearly a year and a half. We don't use the fresh stuff because there's a lot of mare's tail in it, and I tell you, it's absolutely awful when you get that on your plot. But unfortunately for me, I've not got none. You might see the odd piece now and again. We dig right down to the roots with that, get the root out and everything. But anyway, this is done. So I'm just going to clean my tools, put my tools away, and we'll come back to this later on to get the leeks in. What we did after we did that, we watered it and left it overnight. And then the next morning I come on, I got my dibber, I got the garlic, I got my measuring plank, and I started to put some in, and then it started to rain. Just the first sign of first rain we've had in weeks upon week upon week. so you won't see the rain because we worked around it, but you're going to see me doing a few of them now, just to give you an idea what we were doing down there. So
Here's join me here with me. This is me dibber, and you see the little black piece of sellotape I've got around there. That tells me that this hole is 8 inches, will be 8 inches long. And now what we're going to do, come along here, and it's just a matter of wiggling it and moving along and putting a load of drills in. We're going to be doing this and what that'll do, it'll help the leak fill up the hole. We don't put any soil into the holes. It's a bit tricky, but we've got the bloody potatoes right next to where we're doing them. I don't know if you're seeing all this. Got to be careful that the baby frogs don't fall down these holes, so as you see, we drilled a load of holes all the way along here and this side, and then what we're going to do now is set the leeks in these holes, and then what we do, we get a watering can and we just fill the hole up, and all the soil from surrounding the hole will fall in and cover the roots, and that's all we have to do. But as you see, we've got quite a lot of them to do, so I'm going to get the leeks now and get putting them into these holes, and we'll water them in and move on, and we'll completely cover the bed in these leeks. So there's a dibber. So I'll be right back, guys. I'm just going to get the leeks. Right, we're going to stick the last line in. Here's the last line of leeks, and it's simple case of right to the bottom of the hole. They're about 18 inches high, these leeks, so you know they should do really well. Oops, snap that one. You can cut the roots shorter, but you know there's no need. Once they're watered in, they get covered. Last one. So we've got basically 100 leeks in there, so all I've got to do now is just finish these holes off, fill them right up. You fill them right to the top with water, and what happens is the sides are all collapsing on them and fill the hole in, so you don't have to fill the holes in, the water will do that. Clean the so there we go. And the good news is it's been raining, so when it starts to rain again, and I'm sure it will do in a bit, they get another good soaking. But take it off the stand, and as you can see, there's 9 rows there of 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 9 11s. Well, it's obviously it's 90. It is one short of 100. But these will soon stand up on their own. But you've got to remember, they're already 8 inches deep in the ground there. So give them a week and they'll all be stood up like little soldiers.
So we got 99 of these Musselburgh leeks in the ground, 99, and that left me with about 300 or 400 others. But we give 90, I'd say 75% of them we give away. I've still got 100 leeks there in water, just and we need to give them away today. If we don't give them away today, they'll be in the compost bin tomorrow. Use them or lose them. So I'll be giving them to one of my mates. The first one what walks past, you will see, I'll give them, and they'll see them and they'll take them. In fact, you can probably make leek stew out of them. They're that big. But we managed to get them out of the greenhouse, which left me with a place to put some of my chilies. Now, we're not quite there in that greenhouse yet, because what we needed to do then was to put the tomatoes. I've got 6 tomatoes in big tubs that I wanted to put in there in front of the cucumbers. So I'm gonna set. Well, I did set 6 of these big planters, which I actually acquired Lum's Lane. There was dumped in a field right next to the tip. Scallies with the drugs. They get rid of all the pots once they've grown. What they want to do, what they do, they take all the pots and get rid of the evidence. Well, they just, rather than throwing them in the tip, they throw them in the fields, the sidings at the road right next to the tip. And I drive down there, and twice now I've got myself a load of really good pots. So you're going to see the pots. What we're going to be doing, we've even got drip trays with them. That's even awesome. They must be worth a few quid, these pots, and something for nothing. I mean, I'm getting as bad as Terry King, and his job is actually road maintenance, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and he gets it all the time. He's a very lucky man to get all this stuff. And some of the innovations that he does with some of the stuff that he's got is pretty awesome. He's got these like light things, and he puts his lettuces in them. Really good. I wish I could have some of them. They're brilliant, perfect for doing lettuces. But you know, he finds them all the time, and I found these particular buckets. Anyway, I'm going to show you a selection of tomatoes that we're going to be growing. We got a couple of tomatoes called Black Opal cherry tomatoes, and we were given them off Mike from Potting Along. You've probably seen Mike doing his videos. He's got an allotment channel, and he's actually on this allotments. Mike, he's a good lad, and he gave me a couple of these cherry tomatoes, and when he gave me, there was about this big. Well, when I come to get them, I was absolutely shocked, because they were like this big. So anyway, you're going to see me setting my stall out, and we're going to be using a compost called Ambassador, because I was given a load of these small bags, so I thought might as well use them. To be quite honest with you, I couldn't get the clover, because I've got a ton of stuff on top of it, and I just grabbed what I could use at the time. So I'm going to show you me setting them all out now, and then once we've set them out here, showing you how I actually plant them, I'll show you what they look like in the greenhouse, the front greenhouse, and we'll have a look at the grapevine in there, because we're going to be taking a cutting off that very shortly. So check this video out and we'll be right back. Guys, well, we've got another 6 of these pots here. What we're going to do is put 6 tomatoes in them, because they're going into me front greenhouse. However, I'm going to line the bottoms with this stuff here. It's now I don't know if you can see how it's all woolly. This is loom, and like I say, I'm going to be putting some of this in each of the pots, and it's basically to retain the moisture in the soil. And this is what we've been taking out of the clover compost. You know, when we wriggle it, because what we're doing, we wriggle some for seed, and the loom is not really good for seeds. So yeah,
What we're going to do now, I'm going to add some more in here, and we'll be right back once I've just put a bit more into these. I've got to go and grab it, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add some of this, it's called Ambassador. I've got several of these bags. A friend of mine's given me some of these, and they've got a lot of this loom in them. So I say I've got enough to do all. Probably take a bag to fill the pot. Ambassador multi-purpose compost. Probably need another one, but this will retain the water. You see how damp it is, and this is what we want for the tomatoes, believe it or not. So anyway, I'll be back in a moment. I'm just going to chop all these up. You don't want to see me do it all, so give me 5 secs and we'll do that. There we go. I had about 12 bags of this stuff, so luckily that's it. I think the 15 litre pots these. So well, we got his compost, his Ambassador compost now into these pots. So I'm going to go and get me tomatoes, and I'm going to put my tomatoes in. So I'll be right back, folks. Right, so we got these Super Miranda. Apparently there's some really nice tomatoes, and well, we only need 6 of them, so I'm going to stick 6 in these pots and give the rest away. They're only small at the moment, but they'll soon catch up. I'm going to pick the 6 best ones, and hopefully they'll take off. Let's move my coffee out of the way. We're not a bit short on space here. Not too bad, what we'll do. Can plant them fairly deep, and all them roots there, all them little hairs on the stem will turn into roots. So I'm just picking the best ones out. So you can always plant them a little bit deeper. That's the beauty of tomatoes. So here we go, we just moved the other 3 to the back. What we're going to do now is put another 3 of these Miranda in. I give the rest away. I say plant them deep. Got plenty of stem underneath there, and all that stem there will turn into root. What I'm going to do now, I've got some called black opal. Now I might give them me. They're a bit big, but I'm going to stick the black opal. Got 2 black opal to stick in. I didn't realise just how big they are. They're nearly 2.5 foot tall, but I can put them in here. And I've got some of this Velcro here, and we can tie them up against the canes. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a knit one, purl one. So I've got to be careful here how I do this. Very careful. I like to do is plant them a bit deeper. There we go. Good flaming in. Well, that's one of them. It's a bit big like, but bigger the better. Less time to grow, but yeah, this it's even got one truss of flowers on this one. And we've had it in the greenhouse for a bit, and it looks healthy enough. The others are very small, but they'll soon catch up. Got the greenhouse tomatoes set up in here. We've got the black opal up that end, 2 tomatoes there, and then we've got these giant Miranda, 4 of them here. And you've got cucumbers down the back, 3 different varieties of cucumbers. The chilies need to go on here, but we've got to clear this yet. We've got 12 chilies here. I will set the table out eventually, but I've got to do some potting, some seed sowing, and I need that. So once I've done some seeds, we'll put the Mohawk and the New Ace and the Basket of Fire and what have you on the table. Got a little cucumber there as well, and you obviously can see the grapes. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, this greenhouse now is sorted, done and dusted, and everything should just be left to grow. All you have to do is take the suckers out when the tomatoes grow. So yeah, it won't be long before these will be right up at the top of the canes up here. And so we put the canes in now, so when the cucumbers get to the top we can train them along the back as well. So that's why we've done that. With the tomatoes, well, it's just something for them to hold on to grow, climb up really. And yeah, there we go, job's a good one. So there you go, the left hand side of the greenhouse as you walk in is all sorted, and the grapevine looks great, by the way, and we will be taking a few cuttings off that. We're taking a few of the grapes off as well. I'm trying to get each truss and try to just get a few, you know, get one bunch. Anyway, I'll show you that again. But this side of the greenhouse, well, we're going to put all the chilies there. What we've got, I think they've got about another 12, 14 chilies, all planted in pots, all ready to go on that table. We actually use that white container, the polystyrene thing, to put a cucumber in it. And what we will do, we'll put all the chilies on that table, but before we do that I want to do a few seed sowings. So I'm going to do a few seed sowings. I'll show you me doing them in probably the next episode. And what we'll do, we'll put all the chilies on that table, and then that greenhouse will be complete. We've got a few, you know, a few things we need to still do in there, but basically we've got everything in there what we need to grow in there. So that's where we are at the moment. We've done really well. I think I've done really well. I mean, I've been dealing with all that, and then I've just took on the interim chairmanship of the allotments because the last chairman is giving up. I'm sorry about all this background noise here, guys. There's the airport's over here, and you've got the Barton Power Station. If you've got old Landcrow Chemicals, you've got the motorway and the bloody railway, and all this is all behind the camera. So sorry for the noise and what have you, but anyway, we'll get round to everything else in due course. But that's it for this one. Like I say, thanks for leaving your comments and hitting that like button, and to all you new subscribers, thanks for joining the channel, and I'll see you all very soon. So that's it from me today. Have a cracking day. The rest of the week's going to be absolutely beautiful sunshine. So watch your watering when you do it, guys. And goodbye for now.